This play is pretty anticlimactic, to be completely honest, but I do like the catch. So it's going to be, if this is going to be a very quick play to recap. And here he's going to run a little bit of a delayed out. The reason that is delayed is just because of the play action bootleg, whatever this is going to be. He doesn't want to get to his spot and get to his break too quickly. Whereas if the quarterback is faking the ball and he already made his break where he's going to create a separation, by the time he turns around and finds Garrett Wilson, it's going to be covered already because, again, of the play action. So it has to be a little bit delayed. So we're going to see him run a delayed out. Obviously Mike White is going through his reads, which is supposed to be a 3-level read, high to low play action. Now, obviously some stuff it's a little bit jammed up here. One of the reasons being is the fact that Kenny Boa gets a little bit jammed up coming off the line. He chips, but he stays in a little bit not too long, and kind of throws off the timing of this route concept. Nothing's open, dumps it off to Garrett Wilson. And it's simple. Again, it's a very easy play. Garrett Wilson makes a 3-4 yard catch. Does a good job of shortening his stride there, obviously finding the sideline, knowing where the sideline is, keeping his feet in bounds, looking the ball into his hands catch, tuck, and turn away from the ground. Turn away. Very easy, right? That's all it is. That's all I want to highlight is the fact that, okay, he knows where the sideline is. He makes an easy catch. The difference between, I'm not sure 100% sure the down and distance, but the difference between 2nd and 10, 2nd and 6 is massive. We know that as Jets fans. Years of running the ball on first down and 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 11, and we're fighting from behind the 6. 2nd and 6 is much more manageable. So again, very, very easy play to recap. Again, we don't have to get much into that one. With Garrett Wilson, let me organize my screens a little bit. This next play is the body contortion of Garrett Wilson. He's on the bottom right here, 3-by-1 isolated to the boundary. Again, now with the route could use some work. He uses another one of those 2-step releases. He uses a gather into that 2-step on the sideline right here. And the route he does widen it out a lot. He gets bowed out. We can see he starts from the a couple of yards behind or below the bottom of the numbers. Let's say 3 or 4 yards, and he takes it another 5 or 6 yards even out wider. Maybe not 5 or 6, maybe that's 4 or 5 again. Maybe I'm overestimating a little bit, but that's not really the point of it. But again, uses that gather step, and you see that back foot kick back just to gather himself. I'm okay with it. We typically, if a guy is right in your face, we typically don't like gather steps, because that gather step, you're not allowing yourself to threaten him immediately, and you're not allowing yourself to necessarily react to a quick punch. But if he's playing in no man's land like this, you can use that gather step. You can read him. Okay, is he going to aggressively press? Is he going to shuffle? Is he going to backpedal? What is he exactly doing? Is his ass on his heels? You could read a little bit with the gather steps. So use a gather step, gets to even, just comes up with a 1-2. It's just a 2-step release. That's all it is. You're going to see that a lot from receivers. We have obviously a lot of stuff. We have rockers and skip steps and power skips and hop and hops and all these different shuffles and etc. This is more basic, which is fine. 2-step gets outside. Now I like the fact that he goes to chop that hand down. Unfortunately, he gets caught right here. You're going to see the extended left arm of the defensive back land into the armpit of Garrett Wilson, which causes him to widen. He does not want that to happen. He obviously we want him to be to land his hand first, maybe be a little bit more tight with that hand, or just anticipate it better. Nonetheless, he gets widened out. We're seeing some continued hand fighting, but again, that first punch really widened him out. Now he's getting to the break point. Gets to said break point again. Maybe it's a little bit delayed because of the jam. It widens him, but he still needs to get vertical. Now, with that being said, we're going to see a ball from Mike White, which is a little bit inside. But again, if Mike White is running this play over and over and over again, and Garrett Wilson runs the route well, or he releases very well, and he's a little bit tighter to the numbers, then the ball would be in a good spot. Mike White didn't adjust, and or it's just a bad throw in terms of mechanics, and he floats a little bit inside, even knowing where his leverage is. Okay, whatever it is, the ball ends up a little bit inside, or a lot of it inside. Now we like the fact that at the break point, Garrett Wilson's coming, and he's throwing that push by again, which I said it last week in the tweet. I think that's being emphasized by Coach Miles Austin, because I didn't see it as much last year, and now they're really starting to use that push by right there. at the top of the route, which is going to push the DB by while also letting yourself break backwards easier. I'm taking some of that momentum off. Breaks back. Now the ball ends up in a weird spot again inside. Ideally, you want it outside, but we were talking about the reasons why it could be a little bit inside right here, right? Bad mechanics, or him just expecting Garrett Wilson to be in a different spot. Nonetheless, Garrett Wilson has to make a weirdly contested catch. I could have got the broadcast angle of this, but the way I watched it, it doesn't show the highlights. It just shows the broadcast, but not the actual replays of it after. So it didn't really offer much of a different angle unless I really had to search for it. But we like the tight hands. Obviously, you can see the body contortion there, right? Like his, and you guys saw the replay of it already. I'm sure this isn't your first time watching it, but this is where we talk about his unnatural ability. You can look at his lower body, his hips, his leg is up, his right leg is here, his hips are forward, his body is opposite or kind of twisted inside. It's a very unnatural body position to be in, but the fact that he can get himself there, leap, target, find the ball, look it in, hands catch, bring it back in is all very good. Again, I know you guys saw the replay, so I don't have to necessarily show that, but strong hands, good job tucking it away or pulling the ball away from the DB's hands. It's a very good play, just in terms of his natural ability. Now the route running part of it, okay, we can work on that in the future, So Wilson route, he's on the bottom right here. He runs a dig. We'll talk about it after, but watch him on the bottom. Now, few things with this. Now, you have some, typically you're going to see a dig route, and you're going to see a couple of stop steps, break, drive line. This one's a little bit different from Garrett Wilson. As he comes off the line, you're noticing really good pacing. He comes off the line with actually, it's not, he doesn't run 100% there, but it's relatively good pacing. Now we're seeing him throw like a double stop step right there. Now the thing with this is, I don't he's a little bit unorthodox with his route running, which is fine. It's sometimes it's going to work. Now, again, this is almost a little bit hard to explain. I don't know if he got to the break point right here and he noticed that the DB had pretty good leverage, just in terms of how their vertical relationship, not their vertical relationship. It's a pairing of the vertical relationship they have right here, where it's about 2.5 yards, let's say, but his hips are also pretty heavily square at this point too. So him throwing that stop step, which again it would be stop, break left, or it could just be break, drive line, regardless of what he's going to do. Typically, again, with these square cuts, you're going to see more stop steps. Again, I'm getting into my own little mind right here, kind of talking it out loud. He can be getting to that break point, and again, not have the relationship he necessarily wants to. So he goes stop, or could be break again, depending on what he's going to do after, but we can't tell because he doesn't follow up with another step conducive with a break. So he goes stop or break. Again, notices that it's not necessarily a spot he wants to be in, and then throws another one. And the reason he eats up a little bit more ground and throws another one is now that corner, because he's pushing more vertical, opens his hips up, right? Look at the difference in the hips between here when he throws his first one and the second one. That's because now he thinks he's pushing vertically. Throw that stop step. He tried to get me to break. Now he's going to break outside. So I'm going to open up my hips, angle them off a little bit. And now that he ate up that cushion, he feels that he can cross the face with some physicality and pass him. So is that why he did that? Again, I would love to talk to him and get into his mindset about why he threw that double stop right there, or again, double break. Because let's see what he does. Is it break? Yeah. So it's not going to stop right there. The first almost acts as stop. Now, if it was stop, break, but he just changed up his pacing because he didn't want to eat up too much ground. Again, there could be a lot of different things. It'd be really interesting to talk about him. Again, it could be not liking the relationship, or it could be stop, skip, break. Like that could be a thing too. Again, it's a little bit unorthodox, and it's a really interesting route. Breaks to the inside, crosses his face, not as cleanly as we'd necessarily like to. But he does defeat the hands. He did cross his face. Now there's a little bit of traffic right here. I believe he trips. Yeah, there's some trippage right there, but interesting route. And at the end of the day, he does get open. Again, it could be a lot of different things there. We kind of just ran through 2-3 scenarios where I would love to ask him. Regardless, it is a good route, just a little bit unorthodox, right? So I thought that was an interesting play. Moving on to the second stud of the game. Obviously, Garrett Wilson only played for a few reps. I think there might have been another good route in there. I forget. Another guy from the studs, number 2. Maybe this guy should have been number 3, to be completely honest. And there's another maybe 1 or 2 plays where he's not the key player, but he did something well. I only have 1 play of him, just him individually. Sauce Gardner is my number 2. The guy has played, I don't know what it is, 20, 30 coverage reps in preseason so far. He hasn't been targeted once, and it's a lot of little things that he's doing that people aren't necessarily. You're not going to notice on broadcast, and you might not even notice if you watch it because let's be fair, people don't necessarily understand defenses and concepts, and there's plenty of stuff I don't understand, but just continue to learn. So he's right here. Sauce, high to low, pinnock, late and flat. So let's watch Sauce. I believe this is a 3. I forget exactly. It might not be a 3, but let's watch Sauce and then we'll talk about it after. Again, it looks like nothing until it does, and it's important. You'll say, because there are plenty of DBs who they get kind of eye candy thrown in front of their face and they'll bite on it. And in cover 3, the flat is the immediate flat is the weakness, especially if you have your flat defender, your curl to flat defender right here. He's gonna have to widen to that curl to flat. So what the Falcons did, it was almost annoying, to be completely honest, with the Falcons game plan. The Jets ran a lot of base cover 3 vanilla defense, and the Falcons just kept running cover 3 beaters at it with play action. They sucked up the linebackers. They overloaded the sideline with 3 options versus 2. It was kind of like it was almost not like boring, but it's just, I don't know. Arthur Smith dialed up an offense that beat up a base cover 3. Cool. Like it's kind of what it was to me. So I wasn't like losing my shit. Like, oh my God, this Jets defense is bad. If the Jets defense comes out and you're running base cover 3, vanilla with like spot dropping, no man match, all of that stuff. And they're not running different types of cover 3s, and it's just vanilla cover 3, cloud cover 3 sky. That's all they're doing. Okay. We're going to have an issue. I just severely doubt that's what the Jets are going to be doing this year. But nonetheless, again, a lot of receivers in this scenario, which they're running a smash concept. You can call it bench if you want to, but they're running.